Or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
Gangle is hiding something, but what and why? I think it's possible that she's in love with Ragata and has a little figurine of her. Interestingly, this was changed in some of the other dubs. For example, in Spanish, Gangle isn't hiding a figurine, but a drawing.
Hazlo, o le contaría a Ragata sobre tus dibujitos.
In Turkish, Jack simply says he will tell Ragata Gangle's little secret.
Yoksa o küçük sırrını Ragata'ya söylerim.
Now let's move on to a more intriguing topic, swearing. Throughout the second episode, all the swearing was censored. However, there were a couple of dubs and scenes where the swearing was clearly audible as if there was no censorship at all. For example, in the Polish version. To my great surprise, this time, the swearing in this scene in the Russian dub was completely censored. As you remember, in one of the scenes, Jack said Ragata's hair looks like licorice, but in the Turkish version, he says it looks like a mop. And it's true, it does look like a mop.
Why don't you leave this to me before I start thinking your hair looks like licorice?
Bu çeneni kapamazsan saçının paspastan yapıldığını düşünmeye başlayacağım.
In this episode, we were introduced to a new character, Fudge. To me, he's pretty similar to the Glowing Queen. But anyway, his name was adapted differently in different versions. For example, in German, his name is something like Candy.
Ich bin das Konfekt. I am the fudge. Ben lokum canavarıyım.
In the Mexican version, he was called Señor de Leche or Mr. Milk.
Bueno, señor de leche.
But in Ukrainian and many other dubs, they just left Fudge.
Ja veličný fudge.
Now let's talk about Kane. He's practically a god for the world of the digital circus, and in the second episode, this was openly stated to us.
You must be the brave knight sent to us by God to help us with our recent catastrophe.
Interestingly, because of the peculiarities of the Russian and Ukrainian languages, the characters constantly said phrases that involve God. It's something like, oh my god.
Бог знає, що трапиться. Who knows what could happen?
Oh, Боже. Oh, man.
So it partially looks like the characters constantly address Cain since he is God. Of course, this wasn't done intentionally, but it turned out pretty funny in my opinion. Now, Fudge's voice was very different in some versions. For example, his voice has almost no sound effects in Japanese, unlike in the American version.
Just after I ate too many of the delicious town folk.
それと美味しそうな住人たちを食べ過ぎたから。
Another memorable reference was to Augustus Gloop, a character from Willy Wonka.
We're one tanker away from being Augustus Gloop.
In some versions, this was changed. For example, in the Russian dub, Jack says this.
Одна плавучая цистерна отделяет нас от участи жирного пацана из Вилли Вонки.
It sounds rougher than the original, but this was probably done because the translators thought that not many people would remember the name of this character. The French version went further and completely replaced this reference with Easter chocolates.
Sans ce camion, on serait déjà devenus des chocolats de Pâques.
Also in some dubs, too much echo is added, but in others, there's almost none. For example, compare the Brazilian and Indonesian versions.
É, isso faz sentido. A propósito, qual é o seu nome?
Ya, masuk akal sih. Oh iya, nama kamu siapa?
Yeah, that makes sense. What's your name, by the way?
Closer to the end of the episode, when the characters return to the digital circus, Cain calls them hard-shelled hamburgers.
Back my little hard-shelled hamburgers!
In other versions, this was changed. For example, in Polish, instead of hamburgers, there are sausages here.
Witam z powrotem, wy moi parówkowi skrytożercy!
Also, it seems like a meme in Poland, but I don't quite get it. If you're from Poland, please write what it means in the comments. In the Ukrainian version, there are cutlets instead.
Радий усіх бачити, мої котелетки по-моцному!
And in Turkish, there is something about grilled cheese sandwiches.
Hoş geldiniz benim küçük çift kaşarlı tostlarım.
Willkommen zurück, meine kleinen Genossen.
The Ukrainian version made an interesting change in the middle of the episode. Here is how it was in the original.
Do my eyes deceive me?
And here is how they did it in Ukrainian. And indeed, he has marshmallows instead of ice. It is a very witty change. Also, the Ukrainian and Russian dubs did a fascinating thing in one scene at the beginning of the episode. Here the crocodiles talk about their boss mother.
Do you think your mom's gonna pull through if we get all this back to the village?
After that, Jack says this in the original.
When we catch up to them, I'll jump over, crawl inside, and shoot them repeatedly until they're unrecognizable.
Ja, wenn wir nah genug dran sind, springe ich rüber, infiltriere den Wagen und baller diese Milchbubis ins Nirvana.
But in Russian and Ukrainian, there's a different phrase here. It can be translated as shoot them until their own mother doesn't recognize them.
Как только мы их догоним, я прыгну к ним, заберусь внутрь и буду шмалять, пока их родная мать не узнает.
Ми їх наздоганяємо, я застрибую в їхній транспорт і шмаляю, доки їх рідна мати не впізнає.
This is very cool because it references and answers what the crocodile said about Gamigu's mother. Now, in my video about the first episode of the Digital Circus, I mentioned that the Ukrainian version overdid it with the sound effects on the Bubbles' voice. Well, in the second episode, they fixed this problem. Just compare.
Королівство з цукерок? Звучить липко.
Gamigu was perhaps the most memorable character of the second episode. His entire story is undoubtedly tragic and depressing. In the scene where Kane kills him, some dubs have a pretty scary sound, but it's not there in others. Compare, for example, Polish and Arabic versions.
Chyba mamy tu nieproszonego gościa!
Że co?
أراك دخلت بالخطأ.
مهلا.
The sound in Polish scares me. Overall, there were many.
Że co?
أراك دخلت بالخطأ.
مهلا.
The sound in Polish scares me. Overall, there were many strange things in Polish. For example, at the beginning, Kane says that he is testing a new AI that is 57 times more immersive. This is the case in all dubs except Polish.
I'm testing out a new AI in this one. It should be 57 times more immersive. Tym razem testuję w nim nowe AI. Tym razem będzie 52 razy bardziej imersyjne.
I don't know why they changed 57 to 52, but that's how it is. By the way, the Polish dub was recently added to the first episode as well, and there were some pretty funny details in it too. First, in the scene where Kinger catches Zubul, he mentions a Polish show with the same name, Jeden z 10.
You didn't experience a game show in there, did you?
W środku nie było gry w 1 z 10, co nie?
In addition, in the end, Jax calls Kinger the Minister of Digitization. I don't know why they translated it that way.
Since when are you an expert on the digital world?
Co ty jesteś, jakiś minister cyfryzacji?
Also, for some reason, the voices of some characters were changed in the Russian and German dubs compared to the first episode. Now, there were also echo problems in another scene. Again, sometimes it was big, and sometimes it was gone altogether. Just listen.
При самом худшем сценарии мы всегда сможем попросить Кейна найти ее.
Kalau situasinya tambah parah, kita bisa minta tolong Kane buat nyari Pomni.
최악의 경우에는 케인한테 찾아달라고 하면 돼.
Overall, there were many memorable changes in the different versions. I liked many of the decisions made by the Russian, Ukrainian, and Turkish localizers. I can't even say which dub was bad. It seemed that Polish sometimes didn't have the best sound processing, but overall, it was tolerable. I really liked the second episode itself as well, especially the Gamigu story. What language did you watch the Digital Circus in? Let me know in the comments. See ya!
Who's ready to hatch some cool pets? Click here to make your...
Good morning, everybody. Fevernini here, and today we'll be reacting to...
I wasn't expecting the second episode of the Digital Circus.
Good morning, everybody. Fevernini here, and today we'll be reacting to Amazing Digital Circus Episode 2, Candy Carrier Chaos.
I wasn't expecting this.
Good morning, everybody. Fevernini here, and today we'll be reacting to Amazing Digital Circus Episode 2, Candy Carrier Chaos. Let's go ahead and get into it. You guys sit here. Jax is taking up a lot of the camera, but at least you can see Pomni. Not gonna lie, this is my first time watching a premiered video on YouTube, so I'm kind of excited. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I actually didn't even know they did all that. Let's go! go! Okay, and also
to the amazing digital circus.
Let's go! What I had to say just was not important, guys. Oh gosh, Pomni's going through a whole crisis right now. I love it. Oh, it was all just a dream. Hello? Imagine. Ooh, it's so wobbly. This is a dream. So wobbly. Oh gosh, are you having? Is this the second time? Oh gosh. Oh snap! I was gonna say, is this the second denial? Not that I'm laughing.
Friends already abstracted.
Oh no.
Cut out for it.
I don't even remember her name, honestly.
Dang, that's crazy. The look of betrayal. Just kidding. You barely know they. You barely know the. Oh my gosh, this is actually so sad. So grim. So creepy. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I love Pomni's room, by the way. It looks really nice.
Oh! Well, next time, don't steal my Monopoly!
Ariana, give James your $200. You landed on his property.
No! He's in jail! I'm not gonna give money to a criminal! That's not how you play!
Mommy, why is brother screaming?
Shut the f up, Sally. You don't get to talk after stealing my last railroad. I wish I was never born! Me too! You think I wanted this?
Ever since I was a kid, I've always wondered, can you actually crawl through air vents? Oh no. Snad? What are you doing? Apparently falling through your ceiling. The door was open. This is our house. Oh, I just thought the vent could hold my weight. Dude, what made you think that? They're literally...
If you don't want...
Ever since I was a kid...
Blow on your screen in 3, 2, 1. Wow! Blow on your screen again in 3, 2, 1. Woo! You've got some powerful lungs, friend. Let's try that again. Blow on your screen in 3, 2, 1. Wow! Blow on your screen again in 3, 2, 1. Woo!
Oh. What? Help me! I've been married a long time ago. Would you come from what you? Oh. What? Help me! I've been married a long time ago. Would you come from what you?
Also, the only one who doesn't trust her friends. Well, maybe I would have been better off without friends like you.
It's okay. I know someday I'm gonna...
Also, the only one who doesn't...
I accidentally ate a cat parasite. A year ago, I adopted my Albertano and